Hello Internet, I'm Nick Acciani and these are my adventures backstage. The past couple weeks I've had the opportunity to be an understudy / replacement for a member of the ensemble in Julius Caesar de Noisydin. It was an incredible whirlwind of an experience, but it was a lot of fun, and I think it was the first time that I've actually been an understudy that got to perform. I've stage managed shows that have had understudies, a number of shows, almost every show, not every show, but a lot of the shows I've stage managed have had understudies. I've directed a show with an understudy. It's always different for each show, what an understudy, what that actually means. On Broadway and on some bigger equity theaters and tours, you have understudies and standbys, and they both mean separate things, and that's a whole separate video that I could do. This video, I kind of wanted to give my 5 tips for being an understudy when you're going to perform. So here they are. Tip number 1, do your homework. I know what you're thinking. You're not in school anymore. Why would you have homework? Part of being an actor is all the homework that you have to do. Character study, accent work, physical work that you have to do outside of rehearsal to build this character that you're performing. And as an understudy, it's a little bit different. You have a performance that you are trying to emulate. The actor that you are replacing or going on for, they've done the majority of that homework of building this character, and you're stepping in for them. You usually have like a week, maybe a couple days, maybe a couple hours to get ready to go on. So you always want to do that. You want to know the script the best you can. If you can get a track sheet from the stage manager or from the actor themselves, telling them what they do in each scene, what they do backstage, knowing what they do backstage is just as important as knowing what they do on stage. Learning all that and going into the show with that, or if you're lucky enough to get a put-in rehearsal, which I did, going into that knowing as much as you can is so helpful. But that also brings me to tip number 2, ask questions. You're not going to know everything. These shows are well-oiled machines. You usually have an ensemble of actors that have been doing this. They've been rehearsing for weeks, depending on when in the run you're going on for this actor. They've been doing the show for a while. They're all going to be there to help you, so don't be afraid to ask. Is this where I stand? Is that where I stand? Do I say the line like this? Do you say the line like that? There were times where I was standing on stage and I wasn't sure exactly if I was in the right spot, and I'd look over and one of the actors would be looking at me and they'd just give me a small nod like, yeah, you got it. Or like, trying to be as subtle as possible. But being able to ask those questions when you're doing a scene, you're running a quick change, if you don't get it the first time, don't be afraid to say, hey, can we run this again? This is obviously not during a performance, this is during a put-in rehearsal. The put-in rehearsal is for you to be put into the show. So if you're not doing it correctly, ask. That's the best way to get an answer. I mean, no one knows any problems that you're having except for you. And then comes number 3, be flexible. These shows, like I said before, they're a well-oiled machine. These actors have been doing this for weeks, months, maybe years sometimes, depending on the show, where you're going on for. And it's a lot easier for you to change what you're doing than for them to change what they're doing. So you've done your homework, you know all your lines, you know the track you're supposed to do, and you're trying to do it a specific way, or the way you think it's supposed to be done, but it's not quite. You need to be a little bit flexible. You can't be so set in ways like, I have to do it this way, or I am this type of actor, though I have to say it like this. You have to be a little bit flexible so that you can fit seamlessly into the show. Because if you're not flexible and you're just rigid in the way you want it, it's like putting the wrong battery in your car, or the wrong type of gas in your car. It'll go a little bit, but it's not going to run as well as you want it to. I don't know if that analogy works. I'm not a car mechanic, but I could play one on TV. You want to be flexible enough to adjust what you think the track is, adjust what you're doing, so you can help fit in better. All that said, number 4, be yourself. You are emulating a performance. You're not trying to copy it exactly. No one can actually do that. Usually when a director or producers or whoever picks the understudy, whenever they pick the understudy, they pick someone who already resembles and acts close enough to the person they're replacing. So I would say it's about 80% what they did and 20% bringing something new. Most actors that I've talked to like that. It brings a new energy to the show, but they don't want things to change so much that it's a completely new performance. That can throw a whole different cog in the... But like for me personally, I was in the ensemble. I didn't have any major interactions. Well, I did fight Buddhas at the end. That was kind of cool. That was also choreographed, so that was pretty much exactly how it was before. But there were a lot of crowd scenes, and we're reacting, and how I reacted was slightly different than how the actor I replaced acted, because I have different experiences that I'm bringing to it. Trying to copy exactly what someone else did it's not healthy. It's like trying to have the same body image as the people that you see, the same like skinny people and fully ripped people that you see on TV, it's not healthy. You're your own person. Yeah, you're playing a different person, and you're playing a different person that was created by someone else, so you have to honor that as much as possible, but you have to bring your own experiences to it. So there's this fine line where you're not interrupting the flow of the show or what's already been created, but you're still acting. So bring your own experiences. Be yourself in that emulating of a character that you are performing. Finally, have fun. It's called a play. So play. You have all of these things. It was insanely stressful in a very good way, but because you're thinking, I gotta do this, I have to do this exactly right. I have to hit this mark. I have to say these words exactly then and exactly the same cadence that this person did, and you can get so much in your head, and it can be so stressful learning an entire show in such a short amount of time that you can kind of forget to enjoy the experience. And I can tell you, I was in 4 performances for Julius Caesar, and the first one I was just off the rocker. When I was stressing out so much because I didn't want to mess up anything. And I got through it and I didn't. And then the second show was so much more fun because I had one under my belt. I had it starting to get in my system and I had a lot more fun. I was enjoying the scenes. I was fighting with a sword and realizing I'm fighting with a freaking sword. This is awesome. I don't know what my voice just did there. It's so easy to forget the fun part of theater because you're stressing about getting this show up and getting it done and getting it out there. But at the end of the day, you're in a play and you're playing a character, and a key word there is play. So play, have fun. So those are my 5 tips. Do your homework, ask questions, be flexible, be yourself, and have fun. And there's so much more to it than that, but think about those 5 things and you will have a great understudy experience. Because I did. If you are understudying anytime soon, I hope they help. If you've understudied before and you have more tips, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your experiences and what advice you might have for other understudies. If you like the video, give me a big old thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next week. Don't forget, do what you love what you do. Nick out. And you don't come prepared. If you don't come prepared, oh my gosh. If I'm stage managing a show and you as an understudy don't come prepared with information that I've given you already, I will smack you. I won't smack you because that's not necessarily legal, but I will get so mad.